This quick CAM tutorial shows you how to build an XML Exchange from scratch using an education domain example of student details. Disclaimer notice and legal safe harbor declaration. The tutorial overview. We're going to introduce the use case in the background, show you building a new Exchange template and how to enter that, then using dictionary XML components to complete the student details information, completing and testing your Exchange, and then showing the model, building your exercise schema and your documentation. Hello, what we're showing you today is how to quickly build an XML Exchange using the CAM editor. So the first thing I want to do is create a new template here of my XML. So I'm starting from scratch, so I'm not using existing XML or a schema or JSON. I'm simply going to use a blank template. So the first thing it's going to ask me is what my root element is. So in this case, we're working with a Department of Education example. So we want to create something for student details. So before we continue, we have to save the template. And so what we're going to do is go in here into the temp folder and just create my student detail template. And so now what I want to do inside here is highlight this and right click, and the pop-up menu here allows me to add a child element. So I want to create something for student and I want to make it repeatable. So now I have within student details I have repeatable student. Now the next step is I want to utilize a dictionary of existing components. So I want to come into here under Tools and manage the dictionaries, and I want to browse my recently used, and I've created this collection for the Department of Education dictionary. So if I load that, you can see I have the dictionary collection with the dictionary that I need. Set that as the default, and now I can go over to dictionaries here and see that I have those core components here. So there's an additional video that you can watch on how to create dictionaries and so forth, so we're not going into that detail here. Just showing you how to utilize a dictionary once you have one. So we're going to scan down here, and I could use the search, but I happen to know that what I want is the person details. So if I drag and drop that in here, I've now added all this information about person from the dictionary. Next thing I want to do is just give this an ID. It's just student. It's my structure. Go ahead and save this. And so the next thing the student has is academic record details. So next I want to create a child element of academic details and just fill that in. And if you want, you can put in an annotation here. This is the student's record. And now in here what I want to do is put in their GPA. So I can search here within the dictionary, and I have their GPA details, so I can drop that in. And so you can see here that this is just a single set of components. So what I want to do is use the pop-up rule menu again and make that repeatable. And now to complete this, if the student has any honor awards, academic honors, I want to capture that as well. And again, using the pop-up menu, rules, I want to make that optional because they might not have them, and I want to make it repeatable because they could have more than one. Okay, so that's how quickly you can create a template here of a student structure. So the next thing we want to do is review this. So under Preferences here, you can set a mind map viewer, and you can see here, I'm running this under Unix, so I've picked the FreeMind shell script command, and then you apply that. If you're running under Windows, you'd pick the executable one. You can download FreeMind, or you can use one of the commercial mind mapping tools as well, and just point to it. And so what this allows you to do is to then view the template as a mind map. And so now what we'll be able to do is actually see the model of what we've got. So if I come in here and hit the plus, that causes the structure to expand, and I can come in here and we can see the details of what we've created. So you can review this, make sure that it's what you want. You can save it as a PDF, a JPEG, share it, use it as documentation, and so on. Okay, so quitting out of that, the next thing that you want to be able to do once you know that this is the right structure and you've got the right components is export this as a schema, as an XSD schema. So we can pick that option. I'm just going to store this in temp as student. There's various modes here. I'm just going to pick the default because we haven't used any namespaces or anything complex here within the structure, so we're just going to pick the simple default mode. And so we've just generated the XSD schema. At any time, if you want, when you run one of these processes, if you want to see what's happening, you can open up the console log here, and you can see the details of what's actually being done. So we created that schema in our temp folder. So now I'm going to go to my schema editor here, and you can see I'm editing temp student XSD. If I just close that, just so you can watch what, just loading that, I can go in. Actually, the easiest is to go to the folder. Here's my temp student. Here's my student schema and the associated core components from the core the dictionary that I was using. And now I can open this up, and you can see exactly as we did in the mind map model. You can see all the components that you're using with all the definitions and so on has all been created in the schema syntax. And of course, if you want to look at the raw schema, you can switch into text mode, and then you can see all the text of the schema syntax that's been written for you. So, switching back to CAM, so now we've created the schema, the model. We want to have some business documentation, so we can come up here, view the tabular documentation here, save this. This has got all the details of the components, the documentation of them, the allowed values, whether they're required, the length, the definition, and so on. So that's handy. And then the other thing that you want is some examples. So you can come in here and export examples. And if you pick the default, it's going to create 3 of each in the temp folder. And so we can scroll down and we can see indeed that it did create these 3 files. And then what we can do is we can run the template validation engine and go to the temp folder again, file system temp, and here we'll pick detail 3, that looks nice and large. Execute the validation, and we got 3 errors, and those will be flagged in here, but rather than digging down into the structure here, you can also just simply switch over to the console, and you can see that birthday credit unit was not created correctly, and that's because the example generator is just using a random process to grab values. So what you can do is go in and manually either put in hints or edit those examples to create clean examples as you need. But basically this is showing you how you can go full cycle through your development, create the structure that you want quickly using the drag and drop from the dictionaries, create the schema, create test examples, create your documentation, test this, and then complete your exchange. Okay, that's it for this video segment for today.